weeks earlier, WCW's pay-per-view Uncensored saw Booker T retain the TV title over Eddie Guerrero. Chris Jericho defeated Dean Malenko to retain the Cruiserweight title. Bret Hart defeated Curt Hennig, and Hollywood Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage fought to a no contest in a steel cage. On the Thursday Night Thunder prior to this episode of Nitro, Kevin Nash airs the now infamous Wolfpack promo, airing out grievances against the leader of the NWO, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Hogan and Nash have an in-ring altercation at the very end of the show, culminating with Nash booting Hogan in the face. Okay, so I just got back from the United Center in Chicago from a 3-hour Nitro, and it was an absolutely phenomenal show. I'm going to run down the card for you now. Some jobber team and High Voltage. And if you've ever seen High Voltage perform, they're like two super huge little guys. And they went at it for a little while, and then the Giant comes out. And the Giant, if you've ever seen the Giant before, he's absolutely massive. Now, I was in the upper bowl at the United Center, up by the rafters where the Bulls have their championship flags hanging. Dude, the Giant, I swear, he looks like he could just reach up and grab you. It was absolutely insane. So, the Giant comes in, interrupts the match entirely, chokeslams everyone, and then he grabs a stick, and he says he'll accept Piper's offer to be his partner at Spring Stampede later on this month. After that, they go to commercial, and Nitro girls do a little dance, and then they come back, and Piper's music hits, and Piper comes down to the ring, and Piper, bless his heart, is wearing a Cubs cap. And for those of you who don't know, here in Chicago, Harry Carey passed away about a month ago. And so Piper comes out in the Cubs hat, throws it to the crowd, says, "God bless Harry Carey." Everyone's, oh yeah, Another commercial break. And then there's a match between Saturn and Fit Finlay. And Saturn, man, and the flock, all things aside, Saturn's hair looks absolutely stupid. I mean, he's got this huge bald spot going like right here, and he needs to just shave it and be done with it. All I can tell you is he made Fit Finlay tap in like a 5-minute match, and all I can say about Fit Finlay, man, is he has some awesome tights. Absolutely fabulous. After that, Raven gets on the mic and cuts this incredibly articulate promo on DDP. They're going to be feuding going into Spring Stampede over the U.S. title. And he puts down the crowd. He puts down DDP. He's incredibly articulate. He's using this extensive vocabulary and proper grammar. And it's just absolutely sick how bad he owns Diamond Dallas Page. Page gets on the mic a little later after he runs in on the Buff Bagwell Raven match and cuts a promo, and it's horrible in comparison. Absolutely horrible. I love DDP and all, but dude, he needs to learn how to speak. So Buff Bagwell and Raven fight, and it goes to a count out, and Buff Bagwell wins, and Buff is incredibly over here in Chicago. Excellent match, and it was very exciting to watch. Hogan and the NWO hit the ring, and Hogan discusses the issues he was having the week before with Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash comes out to the ring, says he has to pick a partner for the night, and Hogan tells him he can't have anyone in the NWO. And Nash says, "It's alright, I already have a partner," and doesn't say who it is, and everybody storms off. So nobody knows who this mystery partner is, and they hyped it the entire 3 hours. Who is going to be the mystery partner? We have a cruiserweight match with Mr. Top Knot himself, Chris Jericho, and Marty Jannetty. Marty Jannetty, who we haven't seen since the era of the Rockers here. So he smokes Marty Jannetty in like a little over a minute, and then gets on the stick and starts reading off all these moves that he can do that Dean Malenko can't do. And then as soon as they go to break, the commercial break, he cuts off from this list, and he just starts running down everyone he can see. So he starts running down people in the front row, and then the people in Chicago, and, your local sports team sucks, and all this stuff. And then, just as they're about to turn the cameras back on, he has whipped the crowd into this frenzy, and he cuts back to his list. So people are like literally throwing stuff at the ring as the cameras roll, and it looks like he's just reading off his list still, and the crowd's just hit mad. So it was an excellent heat builder on the part of Jericho, I got to admit. And Prince Iaukea comes down and yells at him for a little bit, and then off Jericho goes, and then Iaukea wrestles Glacier in this kind of, 5-minute throwaway match. The now unmasked Juventud Guerrera took on El Dandy in a match I thought for sure El Dandy was going to win. I mean, who am I to doubt El Dandy? But unfortunately, Juventud got the upper hand and took home the victory. Following this up, Chavo Guerrero and Kaz Hayashi had an excellent, quick, fast-paced match. No real story behind it, but, it just was really, really cooking. And then, out of nowhere, they hit the finish, and it was really good. And when it was all said and done, Chavo showed some class and went back to the ring and picked Kaz Hayashi up, and then left. No double team, no nothing. So that was kind of nice and refreshing to see. All I can say is, Billy Kidman scratches a lot. But anyway, Jim the Anvil Neidhart comes out to wrestle Kurt Hennig and Rick Rude, who's doing commentary. And when all that, hits, Anvil's yelling at Rude the whole time doing commentary while he's beating on Hennig. And then when he's got Hennig in the bear hug, Rude comes down to the ring and just pie faces the ref and shoves him out of the way. And then they start double teaming Neidhart. And who comes down to the ring but Davey Boy Smith? And at this point, they've got Neidhart cuffed, and he's, neutralized. And so they start this 2-on-1 beatdown on Davey Boy, who starts to mount this comeback. Out of nowhere, Brian Adams shows up, not the singer, but the wrestler. And it turns into this 3-on-1 beatdown, so then they all go back to what they're doing, and then Bret Hart comes in. And this is the first time I've gotten to see Bret Hart since he came to WCW. So that was really cool, too, was, to see him do a run-in and, basically tell the NWO that their time's coming to an end.